Former Obama administration official and MSNBC host Jen Psaki scolding Democrats for snubbing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez from a key committee post. Listen.
House Democrats missed what I would consider a big opportunity. They passed over Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for the top Democratic spot on the Oversight Committee. Instead, they chose Congressman Jerry Connolly, a much older member who was backed by Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi. This felt like an obvious chance to apply some of the lessons we should have learned from the November election, right? Instead, Democrats passed over one of the youngest, most media-savvy members of Congress for a key leadership public role.
As Democrats are scrambling to recover after this election, is pushing for AOC the right or wrong message? Joining us now to discuss it, GOP fundraiser Noelle Nikpour and Democratic strategist Kelly Hyman. Noelle, what do you think?
I think that the Democrats made one right move, because if you look at why President Trump won, it was a mixture of a lot of the woke policies and the policies that the squad members, you've got AOC and the rest of the squad. I think that America voted for the Trump policies. And if the Democrats were really smart, they would hone in and not just look at the lunatic fringe side of the party to excel in leadership roles, but take a long, hard look. And it's fine to look at the youth. It's fine to look at younger members, but let's get members that are a little bit more moderate, because after the red wave that crashed into the Democratic Party, they have got to look and see what worked and what didn't. And AOC and the squad and all the woke members really aren't cutting it. So it's not about youth. It's about which direction the party is going. And really, it was the wrong direction.
So what do you say, Kelly? Because AOC obviously has been for some time a rising star in the Democrat Party, but obviously part of the squad, part of the progressive wing of the party. Now, as Noelle is pointing out, perhaps part and blame for the November losses, but yet Jerry Connolly doesn't necessarily get as much of the media attention that AOC does get, as Jen Psaki was pointing out.
But he comes with a lot more experience. He has been 17 years on the Oversight Committee, and that was definitely key and played a crucial role in the upcoming election. And so I think it's important to look at it from that standpoint as well, of him being seasoned. And potentially we have to remember in the upcoming election and the midterm elections, if in fact the Democrats win the House, then he is going to be in charge of the Oversight Committee. When we look at exactly what the Oversight Committee does, it needs to look at what is accountable. It looks at a checks and balance of the government as well. And it has a lot of power. It's important to remember it has subpoena power. And what that means is, from a legal standpoint, that it can compel people to come forward with documents and also testify as well.
Right. So, Kelly, let's broaden this a little bit from just the committee assignment here and point out that the criticism doesn't stop there. In an online conversation with New York Times, various Democrat strategists, including Liz Smith, conceding that the party brand is, quote, in the toilet. What's your reaction to that? Is the Democrat Party in the toilet? Is the brand, as Joe Manchin says, toxic?
Well, Trump won the election, and I think that that's important to note as well. But in regards to the upcoming election, I think it's important for the American people to have someone that's going to work for them and work and fight for them. And ultimately, they make that decision. And so it's really important to look at that and see what's going to help them. Are the Republican Party going to help them? Are the Democratic Party going to help them? And so I think that's really important, for they work together to help the American people.
Noelle, I'll give you the last word. Do you think that the Democrats are just so far in the wilderness now with these losses that it's going to be an easy cruise to the midterms, or are you cautious of that?
No, I actually, I don't want to be overly cautious, but I actually think that the Democrats have a great path going forward, because we're focused on the right things. And the right things are putting Americans first, securing the border, low taxes, less regulations. We are raring to go, and Trump has got a fantastic agenda, and I only think that we're just getting started. So I think the midterms in a couple of years are going to look fantastic for Republicans.
We will hold you to that, record that piece of tape, and play it for you. In just under 2 years, we'll see where things go. One thing is clear. Democrats are going to try and stand in the way of that agenda, and we'll be covering it. Noelle, Nikpour, Kelly Hyman, thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.